Welcome to Cavaletti and Pole Work. So you can buy some pretty inexpensive kits that have cones that have the holes in them like you see here, and then also some poles. It just makes it a little bit easier to set up things, but you don't necessarily have to use the kits. You can just use chairs, and you can also use anything with a handle like brooms, mops, anything like that. So you can see that there's lots of different creative options that we can do with this. So I'm just using a set of 3, but what we can do is we can do alternating where the heights are different. We can put them on just the ground. The little holes in the cones allow you to make them different heights. So keep in mind that you don't want to start off at the very high part for the jump. So I would recommend that you start off just having your dog walk over the pole on the ground. And I would recommend having them do one obstacle first, and then you can start adding in more obstacles. But you can add in different turns, things like that. This can also be a really great activity for kids to do with dogs because they can help you design the obstacle courses and then also help you set them up. This is also a really great way to work on leash manners because you can do these activities either on leash or off leash. Another helpful tip is if you put some yoga mats, bath mats, welcome mats, towels, blankets, anything like that, just something down on the ground kind of as markers. And then when you are working with one obstacle and then adding in a second obstacle, what you can do is you can have them go over one of the poles, go to the mat and pause, go over another pole, and then go to the mat and pause. So it can be a visual landmark, and it just kind of helps your dog kind of find where they are in time and space, and it gives them feedback through their pause as far as where they're supposed to be going, what they're supposed to be doing. So this is my friend Gus. So he is an ace at pole and cavaletti work, but we normally do it in his backyard. So this is a new environment for him. So what I'm doing is I'm just setting out some of the obstacles and some of the things he's familiar with. I'm not asking him to do anything, not putting any conditions on it. I'm just letting him explore and investigate and be curious on his own terms. And I'm also just throwing some food on the ground too, just to kind of give him a job to do. He gets to go hunt and sniff everything. And he does also really respond well to using peanut butter on a spatula. So I'm also using that as a lure, which you'll see here. So I'm just having him follow the spatula and the peanut butter. Another important thing to note is when you are first introducing this work, make sure you do the activities with your dogs. It can be a little scary when we just kind of expect them to do it by themselves and they don't really know what the expectations are. So I would actually walk over the poles and the cavalettis with your dog. It's good exercise for humans and people too, so it works on body awareness, proprioception, all sorts of good stuff. And you can see how helpful the mats and towels are because I'm having Gus pause on them. And then eventually we can take those away. And now what we're doing is I'm using the spatula and the peanut butter to encourage him to do some of the obstacles by himself after we've built up some of that confidence. And he says, I am totally okay with that. This here is Zach, and this is just an example of how much fun this can be for dogs. So Zach loves doing this so much, and we're actually using it as part of his recall training.